Hello dear guests. Welcome back to the journey to discover the secrets behind the world's food industry. Today, we will enter a world that seems very familiar, that is pork, but then it is a whole industry of the most modern, where millions of pigs are born, raised, and processed in an extremely methodical, technological, and precise way down to the second. This is not just the story of a farm or a single factory. This is the story of an entire value chain. A long experience from the remote countryside of America to the supermarkets, convenient fast food meals, and even frozen meat trays exported to hundreds of countries. The story of the pig industry and the pork regime in the US is the story of how people are taking advantage of technology to control, organize, and optimize every step in the process from the breed to the meat on the table. From the very beginning, everything is calculated. The best breeding pigs are selected from hundreds of generations of crossbreeding, aiming to create the next generation that is capable of gaining weight quickly, has few diseases, and is suitable for the needs of the modern market. In specialized breeding facilities, sows are cared for by an automated system from feeding to monitoring reproduction with sensors attached to their bodies. Each mother pig has a unique identification code. Which is monitored by central software. When the pig begins to give birth, the system automatically alerts veterinary staff to intervene if there is an abnormality. In these modern farms, the productivity of a sow can give birth to 25 to 30 piglets per year, a very high number compared to the standard system. But the modernity does not stop there. When the pigs are born, they are immediately taken to a special care area, where temperature, humidity and light are all optimally adjusted. We are nursed under technically supervised conditions, fully vaccinated, and after a few weeks, transferred to the pork barn. Here, each pig continues to be microchipped to monitor its health status, daily food intake, and growth rate. Major US producers such as Smithfield, Tyson Foods, and JBS use artificial intelligence and big data to analyze millions of indicators every day, thereby optimizing rations, minimizing risks in case of epidemics. And adjusting emergency temperatures for each area. In the largest farms, hundreds of tons of feed, drinking water, and supplements can be consumed every day, all automatically piped into each row of barns. Can you imagine? There are farms with hundreds of pigs, operated with just a few soldiers helping the automatic control system, and robots work 24/7. In the central monitoring stations, staff only need to look at the data screens to know which pens need fan adjustment. Which areas are showing signs of a slight fever, or even which pigs are eating more than usual and need to be checked. After about 5 to 6 months of raising, each pig reaches 110 to 130 kilograms, ready for the next journey, boarding the transport vehicle to the processing plant. But this is not a peaceful journey. The transport vehicle is specially designed, has air conditioning, temperature and humidity sensors, and even has surveillance cameras inside. All measures to protect against heat or hysteria, which can affect the quality of the meat at the plant. The next process of receiving pigs is extremely scientific. Each pig is taken to a waiting area, where the lighting is soft and the sound is quiet to reduce stress. Then a series of precise processes begin: CO2 anesthesia, painless slaughter, blood collection, cleaning, and grading of each part. AI cameras automatically detect abnormalities or defects on the carcass to eliminate or adjust the cutting process. Each slice of meat is cut by an ultrasonic cutter, packaged by an automatic vacuum line, and stamped with a barcode system that connects to the original data warehouse from the farm. That means, with just a scan of a QR code on a meat tray at the supermarket, you can know which pig this meat came from. When it was born, what it ate, and when it was slaughtered. And that's just a small part of the story of the US pork industry, an industry that generates hundreds of billions of dollars a year, supplies tons of meat to people at home and abroad, and is growing stronger thanks to technology, data, and constant change. From the cold barns of the American Midwest, where hundreds of thousands of pigs squeal each morning, to the giant factories next to the interstate, where each block of meat is sliced with laboratory precision, it all makes for a system that operates with almost no loopholes. It is a symbol of the power of the modern food industry, where humans don't just raise pigs, they manage their lives with the logic of machines and data. Imagine a morning at a large processing facility in Iowa, the largest pork production center in the United States. By 5 a.m. A line of container trucks stretches hundreds of yards outside the factory gates. All drivers are required to don protective gear and undergo biosecurity health checks. Meanwhile, inside, thousands of night shift workers are finishing up the final stages of their shift. The smell of meat, disinfectant, cold steel and machine oil mixed together to create a unique atmosphere only found in large-scale meat processing plants. The new shift starts at 6 a.m. Each truck of pigs is pulled into the reception area by an automatic conveyor belt. Immediately, the identification system scans the truck code and uploads all the information about the pigs to the central system: date of birth, genetic code, vaccination history, and rearing process. Technicians dressed in white enter the control room, where dozens of large screens display data from every line, from the slaughter area, the deboning area, the meat cutting area, the packaging area, to the cold storage. The pigs are led through a path with soft walls and soft lighting to reduce stress, important because the stress of pigs before death increases the amount of lactic acid in the body, making the meat pale gray and less delicious. CO2 gas is used to lightly anesthetize the animals, keeping them unconscious for a few dozen seconds before the staff slaughter them according to humane standards. All are filmed and stored in a quality control system. Any errors are immediately detected. Then the analysis begins. Laser scanning systems will classify the carcasses according to the fat-lean ratio. Automatically pushing them to the appropriate cutting areas. There are cutting machines that can handle up to 600 pigs per hour. Each shoulder, loin, and belly is neatly arranged on a conveyor belt, sent straight to the vacuum packaging area. Each package of meat is automatically stamped with a packaging date, expiration date, batch number, and QR code for traceability. Immediately after, everything is transferred to a -28°C cold storage by a driverless sled system, then taken straight to a refrigerated container truck for delivery all over the US and the world. What happens in the factory accounts for only half of the value chain. Behind that is a huge network of partners, from feed companies, pig breeders, vaccine suppliers, to supermarkets, restaurant chains, logistics companies and even banks, where farmers borrow capital to expand their farms. The pig farming industry in the US is no longer simply a feeding what you raise business, but has become a multi-layered ecosystem with connections between hundreds of related industries. But besides the flashy numbers, the pig farming industry is not without controversy. Environmental pollution caused by wastewater from pig farms, the living conditions of pigs in cramped pens, or the impact of antibiotics on human health, are all hot topics that are of interest to the public. And the US government. Therefore, in recent years, this industry has also tended to strongly shift towards sustainability, from investing in recirculating wastewater treatment systems, to developing organic farms, without using antibiotics, without growth hormones. A typical example is carbon-neutral farms, meaning that CO2 emissions from pig farming are completely offset by renewable energy and reuse of waste as biofertilizer. Some farms also install solar panels and wind turbines to operate all equipment. These technologies are gradually reshaping the face of the US pig industry in the next decade. 4.145 out of 5.000. If you stand inside an American pork processing plant, you will probably feel overwhelmed. The reverberating sound of hundreds of cutting machines operating at the same time. The constant rumble of transport wheels. The alarm when a part detects an error. And the voices of dispatchers on walkie-talkies, all create a true industrial symphony. But behind that steel facade lies a ruthlessly precise biological machine. A typical production shift lasts 8 hours, divided into 3 continuous shifts day and night so that the factory never stops. Every minute, dozens of pigs are processed. Every hour, hundreds of body parts, from ears, hams, ribs, hearts, livers, organs, are separated, inspected, and classified according to market standards, which parts are for domestic use, which parts are for export to Japan, China, Korea or Europe. Each cut is subject to strict regulations regarding weight, pH, meat temperature, fat content and color. In the packaging area, you will see robotic arms working tirelessly. They use artificial vision to identify each cut of meat, use high-speed vacuum gloves to wrap each piece, Then label and send it through the sealing line. A final X-ray inspection system detects any foreign objects, from metal fragments, leftover bones to packaging errors. If there is an error, the package is pushed off the line and recorded in the quality control system. What's worth noting is that each stage is connected to the blockchain system, a kind of immutable database that helps trace the origin from A to Z thanks to this technology. If there is any problem, for example, salmonella is detected in a batch of meat, the factory can immediately trace back to the batch.